guys, Avon here. I wanted to say hello and welcome to my channel. This is completely new for me, and I wanted to kind of give you guys my background story and introduce myself and let you guys know who I am and why I joined the Reborn community. So I've heard of the Reborn community on and off for a few years, and then this year I really started researching it. The last couple months really started learning about it and started feeling really drawn to it, and I decided to come in to research more. And at that point I wasn't really sure if I was going to even be a part of the community, just because I wasn't sure if I really, for less of a word, if I really belonged in the community. But I finally got up the nerve and I decided to buy my first newborn this week, so she'll be here in a couple of days. I'm really excited. I came to unbox with you guys. So my story is I'm going through a very big transformation in my life. I'm 29 years old and I am working on moving back out of my mom's house. I'm working on getting my own place. I'm working on paying off my debt, getting myself and my stuff together to be able to move out and be able to take care of myself once again. Just because my mom and I have very different spiritual backgrounds, and we just have a different way of life completely, and we really don't see eye to eye on a lot of things, and we don't get along. And when it comes down to it, her constant nagging and her constant being after me about money and everything else, especially when I'm paying my own bills, paying the groceries, cleaning the house, doing the vacuuming, taking the pets out to go to the bathroom, taking care of the animals, all that. It's not her place. And it's kind of greedy, because if it wasn't for me being here, she wouldn't be able to even keep the house. So it's a big transformational part of my life, and it's not anything negative about my mom, because I do love my mom very much, but I just think that we have so much differences in the way that we want to live and the way that we want to do things, that it's just too much tension to be in the same household together without wanting to kill each other all the time. So, as much as I love my mom, I do think that it's time for me to eventually be on my own. I want to be able to have a place where I can, when I am ready to have a boyfriend, I can have somebody come and just kind of sit and relax with me and hang out and, have my own place, not have to worry about, well, is my mom going to show up? I need more privacy. So that's the first big change. The next big change is I am working on going back to a dentist. I do have very, very bad dental anxiety. General anesthesia does not work. I know that I need scaling. I know I need a root canal. I know that I have a couple of cavities that need to be filled, but my fear of the pain is so bad that I have blacked out in the waiting room. A lot of it is because I do have trauma. When I was younger, I had a lot of dental work done, and the dentists, unfortunately, back then were not very nice. Most of the time, they didn't even bother giving me Novocaine, so most of the time I would have to grin and bear it. So now that I'm older, that pain association is what keeps me away. I'm slowly working on getting out of that, because I really don't want to be 35 years old and end up with dentures, and it might happen because I've waited too long, but I'm not giving up yet. The next thing that's really that's brought me to such a change is I have let go of somebody who was my entire world for 5 years. It was kind of funny because day one we joked around, we said that we would be best friends and everything else, and we did actually. It's funny that that night that I said that, we were like best friends to a T. It was like I had met somebody that I knew my whole life and that I knew in other lives. I'm very spiritual. I am Druid, so I do believe in past lives. I do believe in past life regressions, and as an intuitive healer, that's one of the things I do, but we'll get into that a little bit later. It's been kind of an up and down roller coaster of we admit our feelings for each other. He's too ashamed because I'm 6 years older than him, which I can understand because of his parents and everything else. So I respect that. That's not an issue. I get it. And he's with someone else now. So I lost my shot. And this person, I could see marrying. When it came to wanting kids, I used to not like the idea of having kids. But ever since the newborn community and since doing my research and really learning, I've really came to love the idea. I would love to raise a child to be spiritual and think for herself and not let society dictate what she does with her life, because that's one thing I will teach either my son or daughter. If I have a son, I will teach him the right way to treat a woman and a right way to be open-minded and not judge a woman just because she might be different. She might have different colored hair. She might not have teeth. She might be able to walk well. I'm going to teach my son how not to look at things like that as a weakness, because I think there's too many men in this world who have been raised to think that women are supposed to be these beautiful, perfect, skinny creatures. And to tell you the truth, like, I'm getting to a point where, like, I used to want to be like that. I used to want to sit there and be like, oh, I want to lose all this weight and be like a size 1 and be tiny and perfect. But as I've gotten older, I mean, yes, I'm working on getting healthy, but I don't want to pose that I'm some perfect person, because I'm not. And I don't want anybody thinking that I am. I don't want anybody thinking that as a blogger and a writer, like, my life is perfect, because trust me, it's not. There are some weeks that I panic, like, oh my God, how am I going to get these bills paid? But I always trust the universe will provide for me. So, and that's always gotten me through, and I've always found success. So, long story short, getting back to what I was saying, ever since he's been with her, I definitely sense that there's a very big drift in our connection. We went from being really close, and we could tell each other everything. We could fall asleep, literally recall our conversation like in our sleep. Like, we could still continue this conversation, wake up, and then continue the conversation the next day. And it was the weirdest thing, because I've never had such a psychic connection to anybody in my life. I've never had a connection like this as strongly as I have with him. So it's kind of, for now, has kind of scared me away from wanting to be with him, or from anybody else, rather, because I mean, well, I want to be with him too, because that's kind of over and done with. But I don't really want to not be his best friend, but I just think right now, until I'm at least ready and I can handle it, it is kind of hard seeing him with somebody else, because there's just so much history there. Like, we've been through so much together. But I mean, he is happy, and I'm not going to ruin that. I've never been a home wrecker, and I don't need to ruin somebody's relationship to get a date. That being said, I've told people I do have someone who's interested in me, but I'm just not ready. I don't like the idea of intimacy. So my reborn baby, for me, is a symbolic icon of just, and not just that, like, I do feel connection to her too, but it's a reminder that there are good things that come out of leaving something, out of moving forward and not being afraid to move forward, because I used to be one of those people that is afraid to move forward. Just like I've had many clients who are, but I will tell you, it's a happier path than staying around and waiting for somebody who doesn't really care or respect you. So my story is that my baby is a reminder of moving forward and growing and blossoming and becoming the woman that I know that I am, and owning the woman that I am, and not being afraid of being the woman who I am, and not standing up to society and being what society wants a woman to be, because I don't live up to anybody else's expectations except my own. And I tell people all the time, like, if you have a problem with the way that I look or the way that I dress or whatever else, you don't have to watch the videos. You don't have to watch me talk or follow me on, social media. That being said, a little bit about me. I am, like I said, I am a full-time freelance writer. I also do oracle and tarot readings. I do it with an intuitive approach. So I know a lot of people think, oh my God, you're a tarot reader, like, you can foresee the future. And I tell people that's kind of the case, but not quite. What a lot of people don't understand is a lot of people tend to come to a tarot reading or an oracle reading, and they want to know about their future soulmate, which can be done. But a lot of people tend to have energy work that they haven't done, or something that they haven't healed. And seeing someone's future is a lot like looking out a clear window. So what I mean by that is, if they have an energy block, it's hard to see, because it's like a really foggy window. So until you remove the energy or clean that window, you can't see out it. So yes, I can see people's futures to a point, but I always tell people too, futures are subject to change. They are not set in stone. you have the ability to change your future. You can take my advice or you cannot take my advice, but just understand I am not responsible for your overall happiness and well-being. You are your own person. I'm just here to give you some guidance. The unique thing about me is that I connect to animal guides. When I shuffle cards, I tend to see an animal spirit that pops up, and that's usually my client's animal spirit guide. Sometimes my own will kind of come up and be like, hey, don't forget to take a break. But so my abilities are talking to, psychically connecting to animals and energy healing. I am a certified Reiki master. So I'm not just certified in Usui Reiki, but I am also certified in animal Reiki master. So I also can heal animals. The nice thing about my services, especially in this time during the pandemic, is that I'm able to do healings from my own house or from Skype or over the phone or email, however the client wants to do it. And then that way you don't have to worry about meeting up somewhere and risking getting exposed to Corona. So that's something that's really nice. But I just want to share a little bit of my story with you guys. My baby should be coming by this weekend. So when she does, I will do a box opening. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, feel free to put a comment. And if you'd like to find out more about me, please feel free to browse the link in the description. And I hope everybody has a wonderful week. Bye, guys.